Dashtilek, welcome to Tibettv. My message to the Chinese government is free Tibet. Tibet belongs to Tibetans. Those are the words of human rights champion and Boston Celtics rebounding machine, Enes Kanter freedom. Today, he is the voice of many voiceless people suffering under the Chinese government. And Tibetans around the world are very much inspired by his activism and support for the cause of Tibet. They are thanking his vocal support through various means, including motorcycle rallies and sports tournaments around the world. I'm very much pleased to have Enes Kanter Freedom joining us virtually with Tibettv. Thank you so much for taking our time with Tibettv in spite of having a very busy schedule.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
So, first of all, I think our viewers would like to know the genesis of your association with the Tibetan cause and Tibetan people in particular. So, can you tell us how did that happen?
I was always, inspired by the holiness of Dalai Lama. Obviously I follow him on pretty much every social media. I, watch his interviews, and I think he's definitely one of the most inspiring person in the world. And, even like his voice is calm you down and put you in a good mood. And so I remember watching a video about the Tibetan culture because I was very inspired by the holiness of Dalai Lama, and I heard about the struggle the Tibetan people going through, and I was like, they are one of the most peaceful people in the world, and I wanted to learn their struggle. And I remember doing a little research. What I read and what I watched shattered my heart. And I was like, I have to do anything I can to help those people and to be the voice of innocent people out there who don't have a voice, And so that's why I wanted to create a free Tibet shoes and also tell the whole world that, Tibet belongs to Tibetan people. So.
Okay, so you are now officially Enes Kanter Freedom. So to many people, including Tibetans, freedom is a very dear thing and something we always wish to have. So why did you choose to have freedom as your name?
Because freedom is the most precious and most beautiful thing that human being can have, Yeah, and if you look at one of the most important things in life is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, and also freedom of press. And obviously, under some of the brutal dictatorships, it is so hard to have any of those. And so that's why I wanted to make that word part of me. So that's why I wanted to, chose to change my last name to Freedom to bring awareness of all the, people, all the freedom fighters out there in the world.
On 20th October, you tweeted a video message. In the video, you said, after learning all the situations inside Tibet, I can't stay silent. And that sent a huge message to the people around the world who champion in human rights advocacy. And how was the response from Tibetans and the freedom-loving people around the world?
Actually, so before I put that message out there, I went to Tibetan Cultural Center in New York. And I sit down with some of the people and I had a conversation with them, some of the people. And the culture that they have was so beautiful. The hospitality, how kind they are, how compassionate they are, they were just one of the most peaceful people that I have met. And, some of the people over there obviously experienced some very rough times. And I sit down and had a conversation with them. And what I heard from those people broke my heart. And what is happening in Tibet right now is pretty much a cultural genocide. They're not allowed to study and learn their own language or culture. They're not allowed to travel freely. They're not allowed to access information very freely. Even I said it in a video, they're not allowed to worship freely. And I know for Tibetan people, that is one of the most important things. So what I heard from those people, it definitely broke my heart. And I promised them, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to be your voice. Don't worry about it.
In one of your interviews, you said that you represent innocent people. So, on that note, what really motivates you to represent Tibetans, Uyghurs, and Hong Kongers? On the personal front, you have much to lose because of your choice in supporting the aspirations of Tibetans, Uyghurs, and Hong Kongers, and yet you still choose to play surrounded in your resolve to voice or your opinion. So, what really made you to feel the pain we experience?
I remember first time I put that video out there, and I put free Tibet shoes on my feet and went out there and played basketball. I remember right before the game, some of the NBA officials came to me and said, "Take those shoes off." And I looked at them. I'm like, "Why do you want me to take my shoes off?" Because they said they're getting so much pressure from NBA, from other people. And I was like, listen, I am representing millions of people. I am not taking the shoes off. And this is my freedom of speech, and you cannot take that away from me. And I remember after first half going into locker room, my manager texted me and said, all the Celtics games are banned in China. That clearly shows one more time that there is a dictatorship happening in China. Because just because of I wanted to stand up for Tibetan people, they banned every Celtics games in China. But for me, morals, principles, and values are way more important than money or endorsement deals or anything they can offer me. So sometimes there are bigger things than basketball, bigger things than sports, bigger things than NBA, and also myself. So that's why I wanted to stand up for my Tibetan brothers and sisters.
As we all know that Winter Olympics 2022 is coming very near, and there's a growing voice and opinion about whether or not China deserves to host the Olympics, given its poor record of human rights situation. Star athletes like you are very much against it. So what is your opinion as a whole about China's prospect of hosting this Olympic?
While we are talking right now, there is a genocide happening towards Uyghurs people. There is a cultural genocide happening towards, Tibetan people. Taiwan is under attack, and Hong Kongers are going through very, very rough times. And shame on International Olympic Committee that are organizing Olympic Games in a country, in a dictatorship like China. And in recent news, you guys probably saw what they did to their own tennis player. And I am trying to tell, while she's alive, we know that she's alive, but we don't know that if she's free to speak, free to travel. And this is a common tactic they doing it by, the Chinese government, because they want to control the narrative about her. So I am trying to tell all these athletes, all this, people, look what they are doing to their own tennis player. Are we really going to trust them with our own players? And to my message to all these athletes around the world, all the gold medals you can win in the world are not more important than your morals and standing up for innocent people. So that's why, and not just athletes, but people, governments, countries needs to boycott the Olympics and show China one more time that what they are doing is wrong.
So through your activism, you set an example of personalities coming forward to become the voice of voiceless people, and that too against a very powerful nation. So how do you think other celebrities and personalities can use their international standings in protection of human rights and freedom around the world?
It just, some of my colleagues, like, people like, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, many other athletes, or not just athletes, but some of the actors like John Cena or some of the celebrities are scared to say a word against China and their human rights abuses. And this is a shame because it doesn't matter how much money that you can gain from China or how much endorsement deals or shoe sales or jersey sales. There are people over there are getting tortured and raped every day, you know, and there are so many political prisoners are in the jail. Even in Tibet, even owning a simply photo of the holiness of the Dalai Lama can lead you to jail. So I am telling all these people, listen, we have to stand up for innocent people. Think about if your mother, if your daughter was in those concentration camps. Think about if your dad becomes a political prisoner just because of the thing that he talks about or he stands up for. So we have to use our platform for ourselves and also for our young generation. We have to educate them. So once they become in our age, they won't face the same problems we are facing right now.
So you are an NBA star player and you are using a huge platform to represent innocent people and oppressed people like Tibetans, Uyghurs and Hong Kongers. The question is, how do you cope up with challenges posed by the Chinese government? In other words, their pressure to your team and the stake on your career.
Like I said again, there are bigger things than my career. They have bigger things than sports and NBA, and obviously there are so much pressure, and not because there are so much business involved. There are so billions of dollars are involved, but I believe that standing up for innocent people is way more important than anything that they can offer me, and I believe in God, and God helps me, through all these challenges. And whenever I see, people like you guys trying to do the right thing, it gives me so much hope and motivation to fight for what's right.
We all know that China is very fierce about your choice of openly defending and supporting the human rights of people like Tibetans, including His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama and other oppressed people under China's rule. So supposing that we have Xi Jinping here with us for this program, so what would you like to tell him?
I will just tell him once, very clear. Tibet belongs to Tibetans, and right now what he's doing is pure dictatorship, and also his regime is a cultish regime. So what I will say to him is leave innocent people alone, free all those political prisoners, and also, it just gives me so much emotions because His Holiness, Dalai Lama is one of the most inspirational and educated and most compassionate and lovable person in the world. And I feel like we need to just learn a lot from him. So that's why I hope, one day people will stand up with me for him and for all those Tibetan people.
So before we conclude, I want to bring it to your attention that the majority of Tibetan population are inside Tibet under China's tight rule, and especially for them to have support in international figures like you means a lot to them. So what would you like to tell to the Tibetans, especially to the ones inside Tibet, and also to the people of Uyghur, Hong Kong and others who are currently suffering under the Communist Party of China? Any message of hope?
I will, just say, stay strong. Staying strong is the most important thing. Don't lose hope. I stand with my Tibetan brothers and sisters, and I support their calls for freedom. And, the communist ideology of China has been around for only 100 years. But the Buddhist civilization, ideology, and philosophy has been around, I believe, for thousands of years. So whatever happened, do not give up. Do not lose hope. We have to stay together. And, because once we are together and staying strong, that's how we're going to defeat this dictatorships and cultish regimes. And my last message for my, Tibetan brothers and sisters. Now I'm an American citizen, and for sure, one day I would love to come to Tibet and organize a basketball camp for my Tibetan brothers and sisters, because I know how big the basketball is over there. And also, my last wish, I hope one day I will get the honor to meet with His, Holiness Dalai Lama, because he is one of my biggest inspiration.
So with this, we're going to conclude here. I'm very much pleased to have you with us today. So it means a lot to us, and you became a source of inspiration for all the Tibetans who are struggling for the restoration of freedom back in Tibet. Thank you so much, and we wish you luck for the upcoming games. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that.